man, the streets ain't talking about you, man. If I can't spin a block and find out about you, man, the people ain't about you, man. That's just what it is, you know?
But I got you.
Talk about it in the streets, man.
Yeah, this one's for the streets first. Stripes like a referee shirt. This one's for the streets first. Tell mama this the rebirth. Say I need church. I talk dirty. Put my hands and my feet work. Teamwork. Put in pain, but gotta bring it to the streets first.
It's your boy Butta, and I'm back with another episode of that Streets First Podcast. You already know how your boy do. I goes out and I brings them out. We in Harlem, y'all, with the Queen of Harlem, Michelle Smalls. Hey, Michelle, how you feeling?
I'm great.
I had to tap in with you to speak to you about, you know, they gave you the name Queen of Harlem, and I really wanted my audience and the people to know all the different things that you're tapped into. First, I just want to bring to their light, you are now running one of the biggest sponsored tournaments in Harlem. Can we please speak a little bit about your tournament, Queen of Harlem, Balling Up in Harlem?
Okay. Now, as far as the basketball aspects, I'm not going to be able to say because I don't know nothing about basketball.
Okay.
That's more of like Hunk and Rustfield.
All right.
What I do know is I was asked to sponsor Kingdom. And when I sponsored Kingdom for 2 years, I seen the need of, you know, how I was saving the youth.
Shout out to Honcho.
Yes, so shout out to Honcho. They asked me to sponsor for 2 years. So then once I seen that go so well, I moved to Marcus Garvey.
Okay.
Marcus Garvey, and I guess I thought that we was gonna have to build it. And you know, I expected to be little, but the first year we did for 30,000. 30,000, it stayed completely packed. Not one fight, not one argument, just unity, how it used to be. You know, Harlem used to have the block parties,
right.
And you know, and I think if you have unity, it's less violence.
Okay.
It's so much violence because people don't know each other and everybody is so separated. But once you bring together unity, it definitely lessens the violence. I mean, because it was like, you know, kids can't be in certain places and don't do nothing. I have not had not one problem at my tournament, and this is the third year.
The third year comes. Wow.
This is the third year. So the first year was 30,000, last year was 50,000, and this year is 100 plus.
So you give half to the coach and half to the players.
Yes, because what happens is I realized how hard the coaches work. At Kingdom, I was able to see like them coaches put their heart and soul into it.
That is true.
And I was like, nah, they need to be compensated.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna give coaches half the money.
Now, being that we just spoke about your tournament, let's really talk a little bit more about Balling Up in Harlem.
Okay.
Let's switch over to your give back. Like, you have some of the biggest gives backs that I've seen in Harlem. I mean, from your Christmas to your coat drop, there's a lot of different things that you do. Could you speak a little bit more on why it's so important for you to give back?
Because I didn't have when I was little. When I was young, you know, I grew up in the crack era. So, you know, my grandmother had a lot of children at the time. All of them was like suffering from drug addiction. So I really didn't have it. And on Christmas was life to me because my other grandmother used to always give me gifts.
Wow.
And one year my brother let a crackhead steal my gifts. And I was just heartbroken, like literally. And I was like, I don't want no kid to ever feel that. Like, cause I knew how I felt. And one day I seen a little boy walking, and then somebody gave me a chance.
Okay.
Patsy, and that's why people be saying family and etc. Patsy's not related to me. She gave me my first apartment at 16, and she gave me my first job. So I've been on my own literally since I was 16 years old, and my own apartment, and it was somebody who just took a liking to me. And you know, I want to be that to somebody else, what she was to me.
Can you speak a little bit more about all the different, like, I would say connections that you have? Like, you have a lot of different partners that you bring in. Like, you have, if I'm not mistaken, a deputy from the parks. You have a lot of different people in a way where, you know, it's a good thing that you're able to connect these dots. Can you speak a little bit more on those type of guys? If I'm not mistaken, his name is
Chauncey Parker.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, the weirdest thing is a lot of my connection came from these hating people in Harlem. No, seriously, all jokes aside. Like, I've never got a government grant.
Wow.
I never got no funding. I don't have a 501c3. And I never forget Inez Dinkins. Shout out to her. I love her.
Shout out to Inez Dinkins.
I love her.
Okay.
And people went to them and telling them that I was stealing government money and I was mishandling money. And they went to Inez. They went to other people. And at the time, Inez was around the person that was giving the grant.
Okay.
And she was like, "You mean to tell me you never got a grant?" And I was like, "No." She said, "Where's the money come from?" "Out my pocket." And that just made them take to me so much more. And when that happened, CJ, which was working for, he works for Senator Gilbert.
Okay, Senator Gilbert. I know you're talking about.
So CJ, they called him in and he's saying, and he couldn't believe it. And the senator actually came to my office because she couldn't believe that they were saying I was getting all this money and I've never got $1. And they were so amazed. It made what I was doing so much bigger because it came out of pocket. So shout out to y'all. Y'all hating me made the people that I need love me.
So I ask you those questions because I understand that you're kind of like in a male dominant lane when it comes to, you know, men running a lot of different things and controlling a lot of things. And, you know, I asked about your partners because I know that you deal with a lot of blocks, you know what I'm saying, trying to get around these hurdles. When it comes to, like, right now, us being in your office, like, can we speak a little, because you have a lot of different lanes, so can we speak a little bit more on the real estate that you're involved in and how you help people? Because I want to let people know how you get people homes, you getting people apartments. There's a lot that you do.
I gotta cut you off because I don't even look at male dominant nothing.
Oh.
And you know why?
Hold on, we're talking to us, streets first.
I don't look at that because, you know, like I said, when I had my apartment when I was 16, I had 50 million bros. And all the bros live with me. I mean, you know, they were suffering, they go to jail, they come home. And it was like I was always their go-to. Okay. So I felt like I was protecting them versus them protecting me. So shout out to my bros. So I don't look at the male dominant stuff. Like, I know I hold my own.
See, now this is what financial literacy is about. You heard? She holds her own. It's not no male dominant nothing, okay? Women hold their own, too. You heard? But can we speak a little bit on where we're at, the office? You know, I see that you're in this lane and there's a lot that you offer and try to help people with. Could you speak a little bit about the real estate space?
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to work in a shelter for about 7 years.
Okay.
And they made me resign because for giving a client money. And I decided I would never work for corporate again ever in my life. So I've been working for myself for the past 17 years. And the need, it was like so many people that's in the shelter that I met that were, you know, good heart, but they're already prejudged before you meet them. Okay. See, I got to the point where when I come in, they're the first person I see. When I leave, they're the last person I see. And I got to get a connection with them and seeing that they're really not bad people. And the fact that they were stuck in that situation, I wanted to get them out.
Okay.
So that's why I just started working a lot more with programs. So, I mean, I sell houses and et cetera, but I work a lot with programs. For permanent housing.
Permanent housing. Speak, let's jump into another business, the beauty part, the beauty salon. Like, I see that you're doing beauty salons. Can you let us know where that's at, what that's about?
I have salons, but I don't know how to do hair.
Okay.
What happened was, like I said, back in the days, I seen Rochelle. She was like the first black girl I seen own a salon. Okay. And I was like, I don't even know how to do hair. I just wanted a business because I seen, you know, it was cute. It was like the girls come in there, they chill, they have fun. So I said, I'm gonna buy me one. And when I got the right person, I bought a salon and he was doing hair and he ended up getting cancer. He stopped working for a while and I'm like, I'm stuck with something and I don't know what to do with this. So I let people do like salon suites where they rent the booths. So I still have all my salons, but I just collect the rent.
I hear in your story a lot, there's a lot of things that you really don't do, but you do. You're behind. So can we speak about Michelle's heart? Like, why is Michelle such a giver? Because, you know, in this world, there's a lot that comes with being such a giver.
You know what? It's because God blessed me. And you know, as a kid, I don't know why, I'm like a weirdo. Because as a kid, like I would have $5 and I'd buy everybody cards. And like I've always, and like I said, Patsy, the one who gave me my first apartment, she was a giver. Like I've never seen nothing like it.
Okay.
She was a giver. And me hanging around her, and I see how she changed my life. And I just wanted to be what she was to me to somebody else.
Is that something like, now that I'm going into another subject, another category with you, speak a little bit about your book. I mean, you have a couple of books, but can you speak on what it's like to sit down and tell a story, try to like, you know, help people be inspired and motivated, you know, speak. A lot of people don't really like to talk about their life, but what is it that makes Michelle step out and be able to try to like give people a little insight on her life?
I was suckered into writing that book. The Dame Dash.
Shout out to Dame.
Yes, Dame is like very close to me. The old man Frost from 17th Street, you know, Cat Frost. Yeah.
Kev Cross.
Yeah. Frost, a situation that happened when somebody took my money or whatever the case may be, and I went and got my money back. He wanted to get my money back, and I was like, nah, I need to get my own money back. And he told Dame the situation. So we on the phone, maybe like 3 years later, Dame like, this happened. And I'm like, how do you know my business? So we was elaborating the story, and then he had asked me something else, and I say it, and then he had asked me something else. But as I'm saying these different scenarios, he's writing them down. And maybe within like 5 months, we had a whole book.
Just off of that?
Just off just like life experiences.
Wow.
And he was like, put it out. I was like, absolutely not. And then he was like, you know, you could save so many girls because these stories are so good, or whatever the case may be. So he had some troubled teens contact me.
Okay.
And I gave him my story to read, and they was like, no, this is life changing. And that's why I put it out. So it wasn't like, oh, I just said I want to write a book and wrote it.
Okay.
I was suckered into writing a book by day.
Simply Juicing. You know, I see that you speak a lot about Simply Juicing. I noticed that, you know, you try to help people understand a little bit more about being healthy, drinking healthy, just eating healthy. So could you speak about that?
Simply Juicing, again, it's just like, you know, I see people do things and I'll be like, all right, I can do it. And I just do it. And, you know, sometimes I fail, sometimes I don't, but there's nothing I wouldn't try. So, you know, on 123rd, I used to see him. I used to line around the corner for juices and etc. I was like, all right, I like that. So, like, I'm not a hating person. I'm like a congratulating person. Like, if I see something, I'm going to congratulate you, and I hope you ain't mad because I'm going to try it.
As you should.
Yeah. So.
So, through all of these different businesses, different lanes that you're involved in, I want to speak on one, which is, you know, being a mom to a rapper. You know what I mean? I know, you know, that's kind of like, in these day and age, something that, you know, moms shake their head about. But if you could speak to other parents on, you know, shout out to Chuck Cash, what is it like, you know, being a parent of a young rapper?
You know,
I know I caught you off guard.
It's so weird. Yeah, you definitely caught me off guard. But it's funny because, you know, Charlie is so silly. Like, it's not like, you know how some people like drill rap and all that stuff. Charlie has personality. So I don't feel, and I raise my kids. So I don't know how to be like other parents, because regardless of Charlie being a rapper, Charlie's respected.
That's right.
I could be somewhere else and they're going to call me and be like, you know what, Michelle, your son held the door for me, or your son, like, I don't have that negative where my son is disrespectful or any of that. So it don't bother me. So I don't look at it as, oh, he's this rapper that's, you know, like, so it's a little different for me because I'm a mother first.
Okay.
So it's like I raised my son. So I don't have no problem with him, you know, doing things that he want to do, because I know he's going to do it to his best ability because I raised him as such.
Now, when you get the label Queen of Harlem, with all of these different things that you're involved in, that you do, how does that make you feel? Because, you know, as you can see in this world, everybody, you might not even be here from here, but everybody likes to claim Harlem.
You know, the crazy thing about that is that name was put on me. Reggie from Final Four. That's where the name came from. Reggie, it was Reggie, Big June, Aaron, James, and which at the time Sleep, it was the Circle. Okay. It was Reeve, it was Benji, and everybody was doing their own thing. And they was like, collectively, if we do a party, it's gonna be crazy. So Reggie tried to get it done, he couldn't get it done. James tried to get it done, he couldn't get it done. And we were sitting in the storage room. Remember they used to be in the storage room on 42nd?
Yep.
We were sitting in the storage room and they were saying the idea. And I was like, I can get that done. He was like, no, you can't. I called each and every one of them. I was like, listen, you're not doing it for them, you're doing me a favor. And we all got on that bill. And it was like a unity. It was like we had a ball. It was like one of the biggest parties and we all got paid. So Reggie was like, you the Queen of Harlem. So he would say that every time I see him. And then I was in a park. I was in, remember we used to give cookouts at, what is that? Good, Morningside Park.
Yep.
And I was dinner cooking and I'm carrying the stuff and the boy was like, Queen of Harlem. And I'm just walking. He was like, Queen of Harlem. And I still didn't know that was me. And he was like, he tapped me. And then he was like, Queen of Harlem. And I was like, well, okay. So then I went downtown to 12th Street. And he was like, Queen of Harlem. And from Reggie, it was just like, everybody started calling me that from him. So it wasn't like something I seen on page, but I just wrote that as my name and people started calling me. No, it was the public gave me that name.
Oh, okay. So the younger generation, like, I seen that you were doing the tournament now that you've done at Brandeis for the younger kids. I've noticed, like I said, when we first started, you've invested into the older guys, to the pros. But now I see that you're even doing a little bit more. I know that Kareem does the breakfast and ball in the mornings during the summer.
Shout out to Kareem.
There's a lot that I see that you're doing now with the younger generation. Can you speak a little bit more on, where Queen's heart is at for the next generation?
Because we got to catch them before they get messed up. Before they corrupt, we got to catch them.
Okay.
So it's like, no sense of waiting until they 21 years old and be saying what we should have done when he was 13. Like, we got a problem with the kids now. We have the problem with, we never had 16-year-olds getting shot and killed and all that stuff. So we got to start where the problem is. Not, it's cute me doing a grown-up tournament, but the problem is the youth. So I want to tap into where the problem is.
If there is, we getting close to the end. If there is something that, you could give statement-wise, like mentality-wise, to upcoming moguls, to upcoming entrepreneurs, what would you tell them? Knowing that you strive and you invest and you get behind a lot of things that you like and you see and you want to be a part of and make some of it, what would you tell the next person that's trying to figure that out?
Follow your dream and don't listen to somebody. Like, a person can't tell me what to do and they've never done it. It's like, this borough has gotten so competitive and so much hated. Like if I see somebody in the street and they get ready to open a business, I'm like, girl, do it. I done sold so many young girl businesses. And it's like, prime example, when I was first started doing real estate, the person that I was working with, she made it like it was so complicated. And then when I got in it was like literally 1, 2, 3. And a lot of times people would create this whole scenario like things are so hard just so you wouldn't do it. So do your own due diligence when you want to open a business. Don't listen to people when you open a business. And then if somebody keep telling you what you can't do, you got to show them that you can do it.
You hear that? You can.
Yeah, you can do it.
Let's leave them with, you had such a great summer. I'm talking about with your tournament, no corruption, no problems. Can you speak a little bit on the Clash Cup that you won? You like you said, you really don't be into the basketball, but when you do get involved with it, you do get with people to coach for you, and you do get with your Russ and your Hunk and your guys behind you, and you go and involve yourself in something, you really be coming for sure. How does that feel?
See, the thing about that is my right hand is different.
Okay.
Voice of my city goes good.
Shout out to the
crazy.
Voice of my city.
Literally. So when he know how to put the battery in my back, because I'm more of a sit back and relax. But when I see him going crazy, it's like, all right.
Okay.
And then, Clash Cup, we had to win because, what is his name?
Uh-oh. She's coming for y'all.
Yes, what's his name? And I like him. He played in NBA.
Lance Stevenson?
Lance Stevenson.
Okay.
Lance Stevenson. Shout out to Lance Stevenson. He's like the best. Love him. Whatever.
Got some good music out right now.
But I was on a Zoom. Yo, he was talking so crazy to him. Wow. And people don't realize I'm protective of my team. Mm-hmm. Like if y'all on my team, we gonna ride to the wheels fall off, and I'm gonna pick them up, and we gonna ride again. And he was talking. He was like, "Yo, why y'all even in the tournament? Y'all too little. Y'all not gonna do this." Yo, he was talking so crazy to the point I was like, "Well, put your money where your mouth is." And he was like, "Whatever." So he was like, "You think y'all gonna win?" He was like, "This is like y'all need to stay in the kiddie lead." And yo, Lance Stevenson mouth is so reckless. Yo, he's the best that ever done it. As far as like with reckless,
the talking crazy.
Yo, that man could get you in your feelings.
Born ready.
He could definitely get you in your feelings. And we were on Zoom, and everybody was talking crazy to Hunk, and I was just like, "Oh no, y'all gonna pay for playing with my friend." And when we got to the Clash Cup, they still laughing and saying that we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. So then, this game was like all right. And we got to have our own commentators. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, he knows every player. Mm-hmm. And he knows what button to push with the players.
Get them activated.
And when he started doing that,
I know what I know. I know what I know.
Yeah, when he know what he know, and then when and he highlights like Jay Walsh went crazy.
Okay.
He highlights exactly what they supposed to do and when he's supposed to do it, and it got so crazy to Lance Stevenson was so cocky, so he just stood on his side. He didn't even put a uniform on.
Uh-oh.
But when we start kicking that ass,
everything changed.
I know.
He got dressed.
He suited up and still lost, but he suited up. And it's just the fact that I'm very competitive.
Okay.
And I don't lose at nothing. So don't call me out for nothing.
I definitely be seeing your Instagram where you used to show guys with the cards and don't bring a deck of cards out on her now. She'll show you something.
I would dice anything. Like this is my life. So stay on. Don't call me out. And don't mess with my team.
You heard that? Don't mess with a team.
Yeah, so, this is the first year, my first team, and we won the Clash Cup.
How much was that for, if you don't mind? Like 15?
No, 17.5.
17.5?
17.5, and I gave it 16.
Talk to him nice, man. Y'all hear what she's out here doing. I'm talking about 16. A lot of different things. Before we end, Michelle, the one last thing that I really wanted to ask you was, if there was, just say, a sentence, a line, what does Harlem mean to you?
Harlem means unity. Now, when I was growing up, I grew up, I'm from 16th Street, Grand Court, but I lived on 11th Street. And my whole life, I used to hang on 12th Street. And I watched Fritz. Fritz used to say...
She giving y'all some legendary names.
Yeah, Fritz, we were all kids, and this is where the giving come from. Like, drug dealers is not like they used to be. Like, although they corrupt the community, but they took care of the community. I've been on 12th Street, and people came to fight people from that block, and Jim Ice, oh, no, you can't come to this block. They knew better not to come to certain blocks. And when... Fritz used to be like, y'all go to school and we're going to give y'all $100 a piece. So we couldn't wait to get up in the morning and go to school because we had an incentive. Oh, y'all have good grades? We're going to do a bus ride to Great Adventures. And the crazy thing about it is Fritz, I thought, how could I say, looking at him, you would never think that he had the money he had because he was so humble. He had on overalls all the time. But I was like, he had him have money because we're just kids. And he give each and every one of us $100 or $50. And it wasn't no hidden agendas. It wasn't like, oh, he gave us $100 and try to fill us behind the thing. Like, it was just genuinely love for the block. And we don't have that no more. We don't have that no more. So that's where the giving was. And you know, when he gave like that, everybody loved him and everybody united. And it was like from the best to the worst. Like, you know, we have Panna there, Jemice, and it was just like a puzzle. And everybody had their piece that fit in.
Well, I see that you also are like putting some pieces together. I see Sham God is involved.
That's
with
my
you.
homie.
I
Yeah.
see Cam be behind you.
Yeah.
I see Hunk is definitely next to you. I see Russ Smith is definitely next to you. You have a lot of different pieces that you surrounding yourself with, you know, doing different things.
Because it's not a one-person show.
I mean, when you use the word unity,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
You're the expression
Collectively,
of that.
we can change everything. And it's the fact that, you know, everybody wants to have this big old credit. Like, no, I'm one piece of the puzzle. I'm not, I mean, like, so I don't need, like, the spotlight. The thing is, we came here to change the game.
Okay.
And if you don't never see me, as long as the game change, I don't care about that. So
I like that. I want to say, I want y'all to understand that this is the Queen of Harlem. And when I say this is the Queen of Harlem, it's because of all of the things that she's doing when it comes to who she's with, who she's around, and what she's doing. And that is why you label her the Queen. Let them know where they can find you at. Let them know some of the things.
no, I don't want you to find me.
No, I meant like on your social media,
just
if you don't
kidding.
mind them knowing your social media.
Yeah, my social media is Queen of Harlem. And, you know, my real estate office is Michelle Smalls Realty on 119th and 5th.
Your tournament is?
My tournament is Marcus Garvey, Boiling Up in Harlem, and it's at Marcus Garvey Park.
Okay. That's all I wanted y'all to know. She
and
gave
Brandeis.
the
That's
younger
what
kid
the
tournament.
youth tournament is at Brandeis.
I wanted to make sure that she gave me the time, you know, because it's hard to get some of this time, you know, to speak to y'all and let y'all know, you know what I mean, how she feels about Harlem and what she's trying to do in Harlem, you know what I mean? And it's not just about Harlem, it's New York City. It's about uniting.
No, it is about Harlem.
Oh, well.
It's about Harlem.
I mean-
That's about Harlem. Let's play basketball player. You are Harlem. Like, I'm sorry, I'm very biased. I stay in my world.
Well, guess what? We're about Harlem, and that's what we gonna stay.
Yeah, so let's talk about your legendary basketball career.
I mean, you know me, Michelle. I'm grateful for being from Harlem and learning the things that I learned growing up behind Sham God, you know, Cameron, Mace, a lot of the greats, you know what I'm saying, from this borough. To be able to, you know, play in street ball and now shift, you know, after basketball to, you know, being in podcasting and just trying to help the next generation with financial literacy and showing them that we can learn from people that come from the same walks of life as us and look at some of the things that they're doing. That's why I took the time out to try to like highlight that and spotlight that. I know that there's sometimes a negative cloud over Harlem, but there's so much great that comes from Harlem. So, you know, me being a person that feels like I'm a legend in Harlem, I think that it's best for me to go
100%.
around and show that. You know what I mean?
And one thing I gotta say is this. You know, remember when you used to play ball at 8? Like, we used to get dressed, get our best stuff to come and watch our play. And that's what the thing. It was just like so much unity. It's like, and you put on a show.
We lost that. We don't really have
And
that
that's
no more.
where we trying to, that's my goal. It's like watching y'all, we come to Rucker, we come to see. As soon as they say Abutta name, the whole park won't be full. So we know we coming to see. And that's where Harlem used to be. And it's just so far from that. And that's my goal. It's not, now I know that we might not get it back to that, but to even go back on those lines.
Okay. And that's something that we need in Harlem, you know what I mean? Each one teach one. You know what I mean? I'm just highlighting some of the leaders, you heard? So make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We doing a lot. She's doing a lot. 100,000 coming up for this summer.
100,000 plus.
If I'm not mistaken, even in the championship game is where?
Barclays.
Talk to her nice. I
Barclays.
don't know too many summer tournaments whose championship game is gonna be in the Barclays.
Barclays.
You heard? So, hey man, tap in, follow us, keep up, stay tuned. We outside, y'all. This Harlem. I holla.
Streets.
Yeah, this one's for the streets first. Stripes like a referee shirt. This one's for the streets first. Tell mama this the rebirth. Say I need church. I talk dirty. Put my hands and my feet work. Teamwork. Put in pain, but gotta bring it to the streets first.